Well, good afternoon, everybody. Today we have another treat. With us is Emily Wolff and Paul Weckman. You guys are entrepreneurs, you're business owners of what it all started out, I guess, at Otto's in Covington on Main Street, and that's grown to just an amazing business. But thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we've been talking to everybody about what they've had to go through with their businesses or organizations because of COVID. But you all are an example of entrepreneurs who, in a unique world of restaurants, and had to deal with this probably more so than others because of having to really, you're trying to invest your business, but also then you had to shut down part of it and all of it. And maybe at first, if you could just, before we get into those items, maybe you could just recap what is it you all are doing in Covington now and what restaurants you've opened and owned, et cetera.
Great.
So pre-pandemic, we were Otto's and Frida, and then we have Larry's, which is a little dive bar on the corner of 9th and Philly. And we've been under construction here at the Standard for about 2 years, and we're slated to open right before everything got shut down. So right around March, April.
Yeah, so Otto's is 17 years old. Frida is getting ready to celebrate its 5th anniversary, and Larry's is about a year old also. So we've been here for a while. Some of our spots are a little older than others. Now we're sitting in the Standard right now, which just opened about 3 weeks ago.
Amazing. Well, it's hard to believe that Otto's is now, you said 17 years now it's been? And it's, and I'm sure for you, you've had to experience every one of those years, but what a favorite that is of so many. So COVID hits. We'll talk about the Standard in a second, but COVID hits and you had to keep these other operations going and trying to figure out, you've got a family, you've got employees. Walk us through what that was all like and still is.
Ooh, I think that initially it was, well, it still is, but initially, the overwhelming kind of confusion and stress created by something that really no one had ever seen in our business community, at least, and really beyond that. Kind of the confusion of like, okay, what's actually going to happen? How long is this going to last? What's it going to look like on the backside? As well as, the concern for our family and then all of the families that we kind of are our restaurant family as well. How is this going to impact the families being out there? We were closed down for, I think, 10 weeks at all our restaurants. So, just a lot of emotions and trying to figure out what sort of environment we're living in right now and what the future looks like.
In that restaurant family, many of whom I assume your numbers are still not what they were when this all started, right? I mean, your total team, you've been trying to do what you can to keep them employed, I guess.
Right. Yeah. We took a look when we were able to reopen. We took a look at kind of what our best performing shifts were, and we tried to emphasize the reopening strategy that really highlighted these higher profit shifts, limited our schedule, and also limited a little bit of the staff we could hire back. We've hired most people back.
Great.
Now at this point, we were fortunate to have the Standard hadn't opened yet, so we were able to move some of our people that maybe might not have gotten hired back at Otto's or Frida. We were able to move some of those down to our new operations since we hadn't hired staff. So we feel good that we were able to really pretty much give everybody a job that they want.
Well, one of the things, at least from the outside, it looks like you took advantage of when you were really closed down. I guess you did some updating at Otto's and whatnot. Maybe you want to just talk about that a little bit as well.
Yeah, the updating at Otto's. Yes, I think Emily kind of led the charge on the facelift, if you will, at Otto's. Okay. I kind of let her give a little.
I think the biggest challenge for us is Otto's is known for that intimate dining scene. You feel like you're in New York City or even in Europe, these tiny, historic, narrow restaurant spaces. And so how do you create that now during a pandemic? So we really just went into the spaces and we still wanted to have that Otto's feel, but obviously we're going to be socially distancing people and still want it to be comfortable. So just being able to pull out a couple tables, add some light fixtures, just to give it a facelift that we never were able to before because it required shutting down. We try to use that as a positive. So now when you walk in, everything's fresh and bright. It still has that Otto's feel. You just won't be able to, reach over and touch your neighbor next to you. But we'll get back to that, I think, hopefully.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was also one of the positives, at least the silver linings that we found in this was that we really used, especially that 10 weeks, as an opportunity to focus on some things that we knew needed to get completed around our restaurants. Otto's was 17 years old. It needed a little freshening up, and like Emily said, we weren't able to do a lot of the updates or improvements that we wanted to do without shutting down for a period of time. So we really looked at that. We tried to look at the 10-week shutdown as an opportunity for us to really tackle some things where we didn't otherwise have time to do. And that's just one of the ways that we're really trying to approach this and look for positives out of this. Look for opportunity to, pick up some ground so that when this is over or less of a threat, we're in the best position to charge forward.
Well, you all, your investment has expanded now with the Standard there on Fifth Street, and where you are sitting, I guess. And maybe walk through that process a little bit, because it sounds like you're getting ready to really kick that off as well. This would be number 4 for you, and just maybe walk us through a little bit of that.
Yeah, so the standard development plan started about 3 years ago. Emily and I had long loved this building and loved, the people that occupied it prior to them closing. Coach Austin Wolff and his family owned the building for since the 30s, 80 plus years. And Coach was also one of the first people that kind of welcomed us into this community when we moved up here. Emily would take the kids down here to get the jogger stroller tires pumped up. We kind of had a lemon of a car that Coach would always help us out on. And so the process, when we saw it as an opportunity, the process felt really just natural for us as a way to continue his story and hopefully provide a different type of hospitality that we were shown by he and Margie when we first got here. And then Emily really took charge of this enormous design project, which I think is kind of the most important part of this project. It's just creating this space where our community can come together, have a beer, have something to eat, chat with each other. So it was a fun project.
So are you admitting, Emily, here and now, that you are the creative genius behind what you see when you walk into these places?
I'll take credit for it.
She is. She for sure is.
No, the building, it spoke for itself in so many ways. It's been a fabric of our community, like Paul was saying, since the 30s. So to be able to bring it back to life, but still have that intertwining of the past storytelling. When you walk in, you still see some of the old paint on the walls, and then you see murals and tributes to how this contributed to Covington and Northern Kentucky in the past. And so, you walk in and you see this mural, which is behind us. You're looking back, you see the storytelling. Then you sit down and you look out and see this new development in Main Strasburg River House and just sort of the more modern parts of the restaurant design. So I think it's a really cool touchstone to Covington, Northern Kentucky. Just this intersection. This has been a big intersection for a long time. So to bring it back to life with this kind of new brand identity is really fun.
Well, and I've been fortunate just to be able to walk by and walk through it once, and just amazing that the work you're doing there. So this is a full opening, hopefully. Of course, if COVID, the restrictions you presently have on you, you're hoping maybe in the next 6 months to be fully open, I guess, if not sooner, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It would be really fun to utilize some of the outdoor space that we aren't able to use as much as we would like to right now.
Yeah, we're kind of working on a 12-month plan that puts us in position to really hit the ground running, next summer. We feel like that some of the regulations and concerns that are with us right now are probably going to be here in some capacity for the next 12 months. That's at least how we're planning.
Sure.
We want to make sure that our plan is surviving and optimizing the survival strategy through the next 12 months. We want to make sure we don't come up short and say, we planned for 6 months and now it's 12. So we're looking at it as a year.
Well, and one of the things I think maybe if you could, a lot of people may not realize, but you have these businesses there's restaurants, some commercial property, some residential property. You know, you're all in on Covington, right? I mean, you live there, your kids are there with you. You continue, everything's on the line to grow based upon your creativity and investment. But from those who don't have to, or are not dealing with the kind of challenges you are, is there anything that you think that would, if there's one thing that I would share with the community about what an entrepreneur group like you two are, or what do you have to go through? Is there anything you wish people knew that you have to go through, or wish that they would be aware of, even as restaurant owners for that matter?
Oh, there's a lot of restaurant owners that we wish the general public understood. Just teasing. That we love our customers and our great community. I think the one thing that Emily and I have talked about quite a bit in our reopening strategy, and you know, if everybody understood, I think, how much work and stress we put into the time while we were closed, and the thoughtfulness, you know, even in things like Emily's design and following new regulations, how much thought and energy went into that. I would like to kind of have the general public understand how hard we're working to make sure that we can maintain whatever we can right now so that we can be there at the end, you know? And I feel like there's still, it's getting better and better, but I still feel like there are, you know, some members that just see it as an inconvenience. And I wish people would just switch a little bit and say, you know what, it just is what it is, and we're going to work and we're going to follow these regulations and do our best until this is over. And if everybody just chipped in and kind of followed the rules, we might see a little bit more. I might have a little more confidence in our ability to get through this.
Great point. So a little bit of patience, a little bit of kindness, and awareness might go a long way.
Yeah, exactly. We're working hard. You know, we're working hard. Our staff's working hard. Emily and I are working, you know, longer, and things are always on the mind. Our staff is having to take extra steps, running around, having to do a lot of extra work. And in a lot of ways for less money. We've been capped on how much volume we can do. And so any of our front of the house staff that's paid as a function of revenues, you know, they're working really hard to make sure that we can preserve whatever part of the restaurant industry we can. And we just want to make sure that it's a partnership with our customers.
I think too, when you open your doors to the community, you know, we're putting ourselves at risk. I mean, we're going to work every day. We're dealing with the general public. We're wearing masks and doing everything we can to keep our restaurant family and our family safe. So really too, I think just from a broader perspective, when people come in to acknowledge that protocol, and 99% of the people that walk in the door are very thankful. They have masks on. They're appreciative of the steps we're taking. You know, there's always a couple outliers that don't want to follow that. And I think we've become kind of hard-shelled on this as far as normally in the service industry, you bend over backwards to make the customer happy. And at this point, if the customer saying, no, I don't want to put a mask on, then, you know, don't come, because it's not worth risking our families and our restaurant families just because one person is inconvenienced by a mask. You know, we have to be in it together. We have to be a team. No one likes what's happening right now, but if we can just move the ball forward and get through this as a community, we'll all come out on the other side much better.
It's a great message. I'm going to leave that one there for the moment, because I think it can't be said any better. I've just got one very important question. When are you guys going to have an HGTV show start up? I want to know about that. When is that going to happen? You don't have to answer. If anybody hasn't called you yet,
that's an option right now. Like, you know, you might need to give us a forward on some funds. That would be good. Get us signed up now. Yeah, we do feel like we live that a little bit. It's a little bit crazy, but we generally have fun kind of running around and doing all of those things. It's very natural for Emily to always want to doing some sort of a really cool design or building project, and it's natural for me to jump right in and say, that's a great idea. So, if you know anybody's looking for a new TV show, we'll be in.
See, you're saying yes. Emily's going, well, man. I will tell you, if you got it on there, it'd be very successful. But
right.
You guys are great, and thanks for the time, and wish you the best of luck with We got Frida, you got the Standard, you got Otto's and Larry's. You've got something for everybody, and I wish you greatest of success, and hopefully everybody stays cooperative so that you guys can continue to be successful. So,
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet. Be safe.
You too.